And the guests aren't, obviously they're not going to the island enough for Disney. It's not generating any revenue. There's no merch to be sold. And capacity equals ticket sales. But one thing that you can't argue is that they're making probably quadruple the money. Is that not something? How magnificent is this? Any day spent at Castle Park, at Disney Castle Park, is improved by starting your day at the top of Main Street, Town Square, and whatever train they might have, be that Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom, obviously, Disneyland Paris. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be really, really great. Let's get a vibe check down Main Street. Town Square on this Monday afternoon. It is 1:04 p.m. 90 degrees out today on this Monday. Halloween is here. They do it a little earlier than I'm accustomed to, but then again, we're starting early at Disneyland as well. I do love these pumpkins, by the way. I was noticing these when I came in the first time, like that's considerably more than we get. Man, these are the backsides, obviously, of all these characters, but this is really neat. They do a great job of Halloween here at Town Square. It's great, right? There's got a mayor. By the way, I want to thank you guys for joining us on this State of Magic Kingdom report. My name is David, I'm your host, and this is something that we do. We're a bi-coastal situation right now. We're based in Disneyland, and State of Disneyland reports are a staple of what we do there. It's my favorite way to cover a park, and I could not contain myself, and I want to do a State of Magic Kingdom report. But I will say, full disclosure, this is not coming from a point or a place of knowing everything there is to know, or a lot about the park, like I might at Disneyland. I'm learning this park as this is now my fourth trip in 5 months after having not been forever, right? So, but I'm doing this State of Magic Kingdom report not because I feel fully informed about everything that's happening, but because this is just the way I love to cover any theme park. I love to walk around. We're going to go through the entire park. We're going to go to every land, and we're going to go to every attraction, and we're going to try to talk about what's happening, what's new and newsworthy at those attractions, and we're also going to do a little park science, which is a particularly specialty of ours. Park science, doing queue math, looking at queues and saying, is that a go or no go? Trying to learn that as well here. But otherwise, just trying to soak in this entire place, all in one super awesome 1 hour or more, perhaps. It's going to be the most fun that I would ever have watching an hour's worth of Disney content. And this is Main Street, as mentioned, at 107, hot as heck today. And one of the things I've been enjoying in my trips to Magic Kingdom, even though we haven't really shot a lot of it because we do mostly science type stuff, but I love the fact that they just do constant shows out here. You can kind of hear that in the distance, perhaps. There's a show that has begun. It looks like Olaf doing a number up there in front of Cinderella Castle. They do these shows constantly throughout the day. There's always something happening here, which I think is fantastic. So much of this park was purpose-built with that in mind, whereas that wasn't really the case at Disneyland, so we have a different sort of aesthetic happening. They're great, both parks are great in their own way. I'm going to try not to get into too much comparisons because we are here at Magic Kingdom to enjoy the Magic Kingdom and to learn and study the Magic Kingdom. Just want to do a quick drive-by to soak in a little bit of that show there before we get to work.
That's true! Anything is possible when you have someone you love by your side. That's me! I want to be there too! I've learned you just have to remember to be true to yourself. It's funny how some distance.
That'll be the end of that, because now they're breaking into song, and the copyright monster is gonna get us all, you guys. We gotta let it go. Let's go to Tomorrowland. Let's get to work. There we go. I do love the sound of Tomorrowland, no matter where you are. The bee-boo bops are my favorite. Wow. I love walking into Tomorrowland, man. It's so great. Looks like our first attraction is Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. I don't believe that attraction has ever requires any kind of substantial wait. It is currently 10 minutes at 1:11 in the afternoon. No problem. Astro Orbiter is back. It reopened about, like 2 months ago perhaps, something like that, and it looks great, don't you think? Don't you think that looks great? It looks wonderful. They really did a nice job shining that thing up, and that is a fan favorite, a favorite of mine too. As simple as it is, I love Astro Orbiter. That's like on my short list of things to do. All right, so Buzz Lightyear is closed, and they're going to be going through an extended refurb. I've got some thoughts on this because it's very interesting what's happening here. I rode Buzz Lightyear for the first time on our last trip, and I did not enjoy it. Now, Buzz Lightyear is not exactly like my favorite attraction of all time in any park, but this one is not as good as the one is at Disneyland. Now, I mentioned that I wasn't going to try to do any comparisons, but it's necessary to do that here because I did not care for the fact that the guns were mounted. I did not care for the fact that there was little to no feedback at all. You did not know if you got a hit or not. You could just look at your score and say, okay, well, I guess I got something, because it was very difficult to line up your dot or whatever with what you were seeing out there. Did not like that at all, which is a perfect segue to the news that that's exactly what they're doing here. Their operations have been suspended so that they can install new ride vehicles, which is great. The attraction could use new ride vehicles, but they're also going to handheld blasters. Awesome move by Disney. I feel like they were in my brain. Obviously, they had already planned to do that before I had even thought about it. But clearly, they probably had some feedback from guests who are saying, this sucks, this is dumb. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm shooting. And being able to hold it in your hand and separating it from the vehicle is a huge step. And they also going to improve the feedbacks. The targets are going to become more interactive, which means they're going to light up in such a way that you know that you hit that target, not just lining up your dot with the target, but then when you do hit it, you'll not only hear it, because there is a sound that it makes, but you'll also see the target sort of give you that visual feedback. That's done at Buzz Lightyear at Disneyland. I'm not sure why they didn't incorporate that here, but that will be part of the new update here. I don't know how long it's going to be, how long that'll take. It could be a few months, I'm sure, at least. Although I would imagine that, like, all the new ride vehicles and all the new guns and everything have already been prefabbed. They're not going to close it and then start building that. They need to just install it. So we'll have to stand by and see how long that takes. I don't think we have a reopening date on the calendar as of yet. But whenever that comes, the attraction comes back, that's outstanding news for Buzz Lightyear. There's Carousel of Progress. No waiting. All you have to do is just wait for the next show to begin, which is every few minutes as they cycle, they rotate the Carousel Run, legendary attraction, but hardly ever a wait there. Ooh, look at People Mover. I almost walked right by People Mover. Look at People Mover go. That's a pretty decent wait right there. Actually, it looks like the ramp just stopped. There's a cast member walking up the ramp right now, so things are paused, but this is a decent sized wait. You never have to worry about People Mover too much because, well, it moves people pretty well. And it looks like the Tomorrowland Galactic Blast has begun here, doing their best to copyright another one of our segments here. There's Stitch. It must be 150 degrees inside that suit. Astro Orbiter. Posted 25. I'm going to say that looks pretty legit. It looks like, yeah, you got one switch back there in this group, but they can only send in like maybe 18, 20 guests, something like that per trip up the elevator. So let's see. I'm seeing 1, 2, maybe 3 trips, so probably not 25. You figure 5 or 6 minutes per rotation. That's how long it takes to get guests out of the rockets, get them off the ship, get the new ones in, start it, and then do a round trip, probably 4, 5, 6 minutes, something like that. So multiply that by 3, and you're looking at 18 minutes on the outside. So, and that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing, although they've got a group up there now, they have one group already waiting. So 2, maybe 3, yeah, maybe 3. 3 groups. At the most 6 minutes per rotation, so 18 minutes. So that 25 is a little high. At least you're knowing it's not going to be more than 25 minutes. Just outside Astro Orbiter. You guys know what's going on here? I don't. I don't. I just know that this has been going on for a while now. It's cool ship. This is where the cool ship was, the Flight of the Navigator and all that. Just like a, an ODD cart. That's been down for a while, but something hopefully we'll have some coverage from the People Mover later on. But they've taken this thing down all the way to the dirt, new foundation and everything. So they completely scrubbed it. So it's not a minor thing that they're doing there. All we know is that, well, the website, if you open up the website, it says it'll come back. The website says the cool ship is temporarily closed for refurbishment and is expected to reopen later this year. I mean, that's very wide open, very open-ended, but at least we know before the end of the year, but it's already been closed for several months already. I mean, gosh, I want to say going back to April at least, right? So whatever they're doing is fairly substantial, I think, which brings us to Space Mountain, which this has been down all day. I tried to rope drop this morning, and it was closed then, and it's still closed now. They've got the gauntlet out here, the Indiana Jones gauntlet. You see that all the time at Disneyland, where they've got all the cast members out there out front. But Space Mountain is closed and has been all day today. So we can't do any sort of recon there, which is unfortunate. We'll go check out Tron next, which is still doing amazing business these days. I'm so impressed by how durable this attraction has been. I don't hear a lot of breakdowns here, even though I don't pay as close attention as I would Disneyland, but I never see it going down line or offline, and the queues are still enormous. Where I'm standing now is where the queue was this morning when I got here at about 9 a.m. It was all the way up to almost to the Space Mountain entrance. That's awesome, right? Is that not the coolest thing? I love Tron. People say it's too short. Forget that. It is definitely not too short. That's an incredible attraction. Tron is an absolute home run for me. If it's, I mean, just think about Incredicoaster or Big Thunder. Yeah. Those are all just like 2.5 minutes, right? If that. This thing is about that long. It just, you want more, I think is the thing. It's not that it's short, it's just, it's so good that you want more of it, especially the initial launch here. Fantastic. And I don't blame you. Who wouldn't want more of that? And that music. And the lights and the color. I do love lighting effects. The Tron sequel, I mean, I'm a big fan of the original Tron, but I know that it was a B movie or whatever. And I did like Tron Legacy, but not because the story's great, which it's not. It's kind of I don't understand what's going on kind of situation, but then again, I don't know what's going on in the original Tron either. But it just looks so pretty. It's so pretty. The lights are so great. The effects are so great, and I can't wait for Tron Ares. Now, the posted wait time is 75 minutes, but I think you're getting a discount here because I've waited 75 minutes before, but that's when all of this was full. These three switchbacks were 100% full. The 2 or 3 times I think that I've done that, my wait was somewhere around 60 to 80 minutes, including 2 months ago. But again, this was all full. So I think you're getting some kind of a discount here. How much that is, it's hard to say. Not a lot, maybe 20 minutes perhaps. So you're still looking at something close to an hour. You still got to negotiate all that queue back there past the threshold, and you still have to wait for Lightning Lane, which mixes deep into the queue. The Lightning Lane mixes up where the lockers are. So you've got to go through this. Then there's the little pre-show, and then that space. There's a lot more queue past this spot. Although this is really, the closer you can get to this point, the better off you are as far as, traditional Tron wait times. You're doing pretty good if you can skip a lot of this out here. You're doing pretty well as far as that goes. I just feel like this is the kind of attraction that really sells the hell out of Lightning Lane. You don't necessarily want to use it for the entire park, but gosh, you really do want to use it here because they make you sweat out here in these 3 switchbacks, and it's brutal. I would not get in this queue, even at the discount. I wouldn't get in this queue. It's 90 out here. It's concrete, minimal shade. They don't even have fans. They give you fans at Haunted Mansion. There's no fans here. My skin is on fire right now. So I don't know. It would take a lot of endurance to handle this in any kind of Florida heat. So I would, if you want to wait in this queue, if you want to wait the 75 minutes, at least do it when the sun's down. That's my thing. So I would stay away from this. I wouldn't even rope drop it. I would just wait until the evening. Now not to mention all the cool lights that you get to see when you're here at night. Although the nights are shorter in the summer, you're only going to get a few hours of that. And the other negative to that sort of strategy, is that there's a good chance that a lot of other people are thinking the same thing you are. So there is a trade-off for that. But still, I still think there's going to be a, what do they call that? Like a breaking point. There's a maximum that people are going to be willing to wait. So it's not like it's going to become suddenly 3 hours, although I suppose it could, but it's more likely just going to stay at that hour, hour and a half, is my guess. I did also have 2 experiences recently trying to ride it right during fireworks, and the first effort didn't go very well. It was still an hour at least, I think, but the second one was just like 30 minutes, I think. So that's probably like the most ideal time to try and hit that attraction. But again, probably going to be a lot of competition as far as that goes. I feel like today my gut tells me just ride the People Mover all day. I mean, you can't do much better than that, but we are going to try a little something, I think. I have been itching just a little bit to ride Tomorrowland Speedway, so we're going to go do a little queue science, check out the wait time, and see if it's real. Ever since I've been coming to Disney parks, even before I started, doing the show. But that's one of the very first few things that I start trying to talk about is there's a question that drives me. There's a question that I have to answer. It's a desire that I can't explain. It's a need. I have to know, is it real? And that has driven me to study these queues on a regular basis, to try to measure, to try to spot, to try to figure out how real are the posted wait times. The posted wait time right now for Tomorrowland Speedway is 25 minutes. I want to know if it's 25, and what does that 25 minutes feel like? I want to know if it's a long 25 or a short 25, because there is such a thing. There we go. Actually, it's gone down. Posted 20 now at this point, 20 minutes. So I feel like we've got, 4 switchbacks out here, a little more queue out there. That's going to bake you a little bit, and that goes towards that question or that observation that we're making. 2 things that make a queue feel longer than it is how often you're stopping and for how long are you stopping. Like, let's say the Goes Quick Though type attractions. Pirates is a Goes Quick Though. You're always constantly moving, versus, let's say, Astro Orbiter, where you're standing still and not doing anything for like 5 minutes. There's that. And then there's how much shade, how much coverage, how exposed are you to the elements. So a 20-minute wait in direct sunlight out there in the heat versus 20 minutes in an air-conditioned room, completely different experience. So we've got a clock started. We're about 2.5 minutes in so far, and I'm going to say that's probably, one switchback is in total maybe 3 to 4 minutes. So 3 to 4 minutes here, and then maybe 4 minutes up and across, and another 2 minutes down. So we're going 7, 8, 3, maybe 21 minutes is my guess. That, by the way, is sort of a quick and dirty example of our definition of queue math. When we do queue math, we try to break the queue down into measurable segments, not just try to say, is it 20 or not? We measure identifiable stretches and say that stretch is 3 or 4 minutes, that stretch is 4. So that when you come here, if you know that in advance, you can just do the math and add it to segments that you see. What guests are in the sections that you can see? So we are now at 4 minutes to get to this point. 4 total. That was actually kind of quicker than I thought it would be. So maybe 2 more up, 30 across, 2.5, and then let's see, probably 3.5 down, right? So that's another 6 minutes. We might be in a vehicle in 10 minutes. Just notice the far left lane is down, which is the far ramp over there. I feel like we may be benefited by that. That left side is only going to be getting into 1 lane, whereas we're getting into 2. It's still taking a little bit longer than I thought it would, but we are having a bit of an advantage right now, I think. We're at almost 7 minutes at this point. And I did also, yeah, they've also got, oh, I think they figured that out. The hood was up on that yellow car up there, number 49. I'm not sure how significant that is. But there's a bit of a backup here. Here they come. Yeah, there's definitely a backup in this far right lane. Unfortunately here, it doesn't look like you get to pick which side you go on. They put you in a lane. They put you on a ramp. Hey, look at all that out there though. Look at all that grass. That's awesome. They don't have trees here, as many trees, but they do have grass. By the way, I will also observe it looks like they're sending fewer guests to the outside lane. So the cast member who is sorting guests is aware of the slowdown here on the left side, and she's sending fewer guests to, I mean, they are still sending guests this direction, but only half as many, which effectively takes away the advantage that I thought we might have. And we have been sorted, heading for row 9. 10 minutes and 30 seconds, nailed it. So the next question is, well, if that's not 20 minutes, if that was half as long, what does a 20-minute queue look like at Tomorrowland Speedway? We're going to answer that when we're done with this ride. Before we get into that question that I wanted to answer, I was way more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to hate the Tomorrowland Speedway here at Magic Kingdom, but that was actually quite nice. I really, really enjoyed that. That was cool. What about that 10-minute queue? That queue that we waited in was 10 minutes, which is approximately the size of the queue we're looking at now. They readjusted it. They changed the chains. Now this is the full length, but it was the one inside of that was the full length prior. If it's a 20-minute queue, you're going to have to expect to wait probably double the amount of time we waited here, which was about 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes before we got to that mix there. So at least both switchbacks. You'll see at least both switchbacks, probably all three, to get you to a 20-minute queue. 30-minute queue starts to run outside the threshold here, and also while still also being all three queues inside. One switchback is 4 minutes, typically. And that's a measuring stick that I use often, 4 minutes for a switchback, because you'll find that Disney makes switchbacks like this the same over and over again, especially the old school attractions. The newer ones a little bit less so, because the queues are a little bit more, windy, and they're going through a thing and they're trying to, keep the monotony out of the thing. But the old queues like these with just basic switchbacks, 4 minutes. Before we continue, I will note that Disney also has agreed that it's a 10-minute queue because they have updated the wait time. It went from 25 to 20 and now to 10. All right, that's Tomorrowland. Fantasyland is next. Stop first in Storybook Circus. This always fascinated me. They had a Dumbo attraction, like, no. One's not good. We need 2 Dumbos. 10-minute posted standby. You'll never see that at Disneyland, will you? 10-minute posted wait for Dumbo. I wonder, do they sort you? Yeah, I see no waiting here for either attraction or for either side. Matter of fact, they're not even filling all the Dumbos. Look at that. Is it too hot to ride Dumbo? Is that what it is? Because that looks like you'd cook in one of those, man. It looks like you would cook, but this is a fully filled, this is all the guests in this rotation. There's nobody waiting in that queue over there. So they're only filling about half the Dumbos on that side. And I see no queue on this side either. Incredible. There goes Barnstormer. That ride looks fun as heck, man. That's Barnstormer. There's a queue here. I love the costumes for the cast members on this one. This is just 15 minutes also. But there is a queue, but it is 15. I mean, that actually looks like a long 15 maybe. And there is lightning lane for this attraction. There goes the Walt Disney World Railroad. In case you don't know, see them, some of them are going backwards. This train only goes to the Main Street station and then it comes right back. So some of the seats face this way, some of the seats face that way now because of that. Some guests ride backwards, some guests ride forwards. Anyway, depth is probably 15, although I would consider this kind of a long 15 because of the weather, because of the heat and everything, not a lot of shade. You're kind of exposed a little bit there. And if you're having if it's a busy day, not like it is today. Today is not very busy. I would regret getting into that queue, I think. Right, so that's another one of the conversations that we tend to have here is it busy or not? I mean, it's not dead, but it ain't busy either. And the heat has something to do with that, I think. Plus, kids are back at school. Well, some of them are at least. So you're not getting the full family effect here. Now, this is a Monday, though. Now, I don't know if they play by the same rules here at WDW. Walt Disney World, Mondays are crazy busy at Disneyland, but not so much here today. New this year, by the way, in Fantasyland is Halloween decorations. Look at this. They got Dumbo pumpkins like wreaths, and they've added some ears on that guy. They haven't done this in years past. Is that, I can't tell, is that a Chip or Dale? He looks like a chipmunk. But they have decorated pretty much all of Fantasyland, which I love. I think it's fantastic. I'm so glad that they've done this. Typically, it's just Main Street or a little bit of Frontierland. Oh man, and that, you guys, looks like absolute heaven. That looks like absolute heaven. Oh, if only. It is 89 degrees out right now, and it feels hotter than that, obviously, because of the humidity. It is cooking out here. That's Storybook Circus. Little Mermaid looks light too. Although I would expect it to be, I don't see any kind of queue. People are just walking straight in. I don't yet know, oh there it is, 20 minutes. Probably not even that, probably 10. You gotta go in there to find out, but it doesn't look at all like they're expecting any kind of crowd at Little Mermaid. When I rope dropped Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride, I still have not yet reached the back of the standby queue. I don't know if you guys watched that video or not, but it was, man, was it a rough start for that morning. The queue wound up being back here by Gaston's Tavern. Oh, now it said 20 and now that says 15. So yeah, there's nothing happening there at Little Mermaid, which now that I think about it, it's kind of surprising. I get why people wouldn't want to get into Dumbo or Barnstormer. It's exposed, it's hot. You know, hot seats, but that's actually a break. Little Mermaid would be a nice break from the heat. That should be a busy attraction right now. I wonder, but now speaking of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride, and where attractions sit, we waited 40 minutes this morning. We rope dropped it, waited 40 minutes. It was 50, and I thought, I'll bet you, we would have been better off coming back later in the day and hitting Seven Dwarfs Mine Train instead of trying to rope drop it. Let's find out. I hadn't really seen any kind of queue when we walked by that when we were by the Tomorrowland Speedway, so I don't think it's going to be more than 40. Oh, but it is. That is a posted 60 minutes right there for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Now I don't know if that's an actual 60 minutes or not, because I have not done I have not done any standby reps when Lightning Lane is in full effect. The queue is certainly half as long as it was, well maybe not half, but significantly shorter than it was when we found it this morning. But it's not going to move as briskly because this is one of those where everybody's going to be using their Lightning Lane. So you wind up being stuck out here in these queues like this where we were certainly moving much quicker through the queue. You don't like to see this. One of the things that we talk about in terms of trying to spot a queue and say, okay, is that queue worth getting into or not, is how posted do they look? Are they leaning up against things? Are they sitting on the fence? Are they not moving? Is there space in between the people? When the attraction is moving, when the queue is moving, there are gaps in between guests if it's constantly moving, but the more the queue is stationary, the more people tend to compress and get closer and closer together. This looks like a fairly compressed queue. So yeah, I'm looking at 60 here. Definitely, this is a 60-minute queue. And I mean, that's to be expected. It's a very popular attraction, Lightning Lane attraction. What I don't expect is 45 minutes for Winnie the Pooh. And that's not because Winnie the Pooh is super ultra popular. It's not because Winnie the Pooh, is a difficult queue per se. It's actually a fairly efficient queue. It's purely because of Lightning Lane. That's all it is. It's just Lightning Lane. This attraction has no business being on Lightning Lane. You put the same attraction in Bayou Country at home, 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, never longer than 20. It's one of those things here at Magic Kingdom where I kind of shake my fist a little bit. I don't like that they shouldn't be putting kids attractions on Lightning Lane at all. Same thing at the Mater's over in Hollywood. Well, it's not Mater's, it's the Alien Saucer Spin. That should not be a Lightning Lane attraction. Shame on you, Disney, for making kids wait an hour for this ride or for Alien Saucer Spin. Shame. Every park should have a few freebies for the kids. A few, not just one or two, but a few. 3 or 4 freebies. By freebies, I mean super easy waits that aren't, get bogged down by Lightning Lane. And they just don't exist at Walt Disney World. They just don't exist. The carousel is one. That's pretty easy, but that's, I can't think of any more. I can't think, I got nothing. I got Astro Orbiter. I think Disney should do some sort of study like they did at Pirates. Do we sell more or less Lightning Lanes when an attraction like Winnie the Pooh is on the list, is on the roster? I feel like it wouldn't make any difference at all. Give us one. Just give us one. There you go. Peter Pan, 60 minutes. 60. That's all Lightning Lane. I don't know if that's a 60-minute queue or not. I have no idea. I mean, there's a lot of queue back there, and we can't really see it. The entrance is here, and it looks a little stuck in there. But most of the queue is inside. But they are using all of it out here. 60 minutes for Peter Pan. Small World, okay, so that's a little more affordable at 30 minutes. That's one you can get into with standby. Small World is so efficient, that's why it's 30, and Peter Pan is 60. Significantly more efficient Small World is because of the boats, and you can fit 15 people in a boat, and you can fit 2 people in a pirate ship, and they go at about the same rate, maybe a little more, maybe a couple of boats per, for every one of these, I think, maybe 2 or 3. So it's twice as efficient. You get half the wait time. There you go. There's your math. Does that follow? You got that one? Twice or half as efficient, so twice as long, right? Moving right along. I think we just cleared Fantasyland. Let's go check out Haunted Mansion next. Soon to become part of Villains Land, I'm sure, right? It has to, right? They can't leave us in Liberty Square. I mean, it never really belonged here anyway, did it? Oh my gosh. Oh no, this is not bad. Actually, this is not, I thought it was, yeah, we had it out here earlier today. It was, 30 something minutes earlier today, 40. So this is a little bit more bearable. But this cooks right here. You guys, I don't know what's there's a vortex of heat happening right here in this particular spot right here. As soon as we get on this concrete, the temperature goes up by about 10 degrees, and I'm starting to feel it already. 30-minute posted wait time, that's about right. That's about what we did earlier today. I'm in the Lightning Lane queue as it turns out, but right now I can feel my skin burning again. 30 minutes, so you want to get into those covered areas as quickly as possible, right? They got fans in there at least. But out here is just brutal. This is just brutal. And I surmise that is a factor of all this concrete and the fact that there's no more water. No more water in the river. Speaking of which, walls are up, covering or obscuring most of the river. It is out here in Liberty Square. When you get out to Frontierland, it's more open, which I'm kind of surprised. But they may realize or think that that's probably too much, but they've closed off the entrance here to the Liberty Bell. You can't see anything there. This structure is staying though. This structure and this landing will remain as part of Piston Peak, my apologies. So that's interesting also. But here you can see the construction walls continue into Frontierland. And I have to prepare you. What I'm going to show you next is going to be quite striking. Avert your eyes if you get squeamish over the violence that we're about to see. This little pathway is still open, which is great. But you can see the track. If you ever wondered if the MARC train floats freely on the river, or if it's on a track, there you go. The MARC Twain does not float freely. It is on a track. And they have nearly drained the entire river. Not much left. All that water is backstage somewhere that way, I think. And then once they get this done, they'll get to work on clearing the island, I think. They need to be able to have vehicles get in and out of here. They'll build some sort of temporary, like ramp, I guess, to get the carts full of tree, dirt and rock that they have to get off this island. They're gonna take this thing all the way down to the dirt and then rebuild it as Piston Peak. But the entire river is about drained. I would say 95%, 98%.
Yep.
It's kind of heartbreaking. Look at that. It's gone. Gone, gone, gone. But there are times when I don't know how to process this, Like, I get it, You want to give more to the guest, and the guests aren't, obviously they're not going to the island enough for Disney. It's not generating any revenue. There's no merch to be sold on the island, no food, nothing. They can sell, well, except for those Cokes that cost like $6. That vending machine that, who knows how long those Cokes have been there. But yeah, they closed, the one quick service location they had in there. It hasn't, because nobody went on the island, so it was not cost effective. So I get it, but it's just part of me like, can't we protect it? Like the government does to state parks, right? I don't know how much revenue Yellowstone is generating, or Yosemite, or the Redwood Forest, but they're not going to tear it down because no. You know what I mean? Because no. So I kind of wish that they could have had some sort of, thing to do here, but I get it. I do. It just it bums me out. And I think I'm reasonably confident that Disney can do something with the space and make it enjoyable and make it fun. And I'm sure that the average guest is going to be just quite pleased with Piston Peak, I'm sure, because that's always been, the things that they've done recently, like Avengers Campus. There are still people who are upset that they tore down Bugs Land and put in Avengers Campus, because Bugs Land was a really cute, sort of nice aesthetic. Very well, designed. The rides were kind of meh. They were all just kids' rides. But it was well designed. It was fun to be there. It was a nice diversion. Take your kids there and spend an hour. And people were upset. They're still upset that they did that, and they think Avengers Campus sucks. I wouldn't argue. Some people like Avengers Campus. Some people don't, and that's completely subjective. But one thing that you can't argue is that they're making probably quadruple the money with Avengers Campus than they did at Bugs Land. Bugs Land did not move merch. Bugs Land did not move food. Bugs Land did not consume guests. There was zero capacity in Bugs Land, and capacity equals ticket sales. You sell however the amount of tickets you can sell is not fixed. It depends on how much capacity, how many people can your attraction hold? Each attraction adds up. It's an aggregate, right? So they're filling that place up with 3 times as many guests, 4 times as many guests on that alone, just on ticket sales alone. They're quadrupling the money. Then there's the merch and food. So you can't argue that Avengers Campus is a better, move for Disney financially speaking. And I would bet my house that the same thing will be true, and probably even on a greater scale over there at Tom Sawyer Island. Tom Sawyer Island drew nothing. It generated very little revenue at all. There's maybe 100 guests on that island at a time versus the, 5,000 that you're gonna put in Piston Peak. I'm not sure what the number is, but I know it's gonna be great. So there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is a positive financial move for Disney. And I know more than my share of people who are like, cool. I think that sounds like a great idea. I think Piston Peak sounds awesome. Those attractions look awesome. That concept art looks awesome. I don't even go on Tom Sawyer Island. Great, let's go. That's not me though. I'm a nature guy. I just like to look at things and say, hey, that exists and it's beautiful. Maybe, hopefully I'll say the same about Piston Peak. I keep saying pink, Piston Peak. There's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It's still closed. The good news is the crane is gone. That means that they're done with the track, right? They got no more parts to bring in. So now it's just about, finishing up all the work that they've been doing on the track itself and whatever new, features they're adding, which you can see there's crew hard at work in there. Actually, there's a bunch of hard hats. I think they're all white. I don't see any brown. Brown being Imagineering. I see all white hats, so they're working on that queue space up there. That's what's going on in there. I'm really looking forward to being able to ride this attraction. I've only ever seen videos. I didn't come much back in the day. And my trips my recent trips, they've all happened while the attraction's been closed for a little while, so I have not had the opportunity since coming to the park to enjoy it. Not at all. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't. We'll go to Tiana's next, which is an attraction that I would expect to be very busy right now. Although I'm not feeling a lot of energy coming out of this attraction. I don't feel a lot of people coming out. I don't feel a lot of intensity here. I feel like it's kind of quiet, and that's kind of surprising. Posted wait time though does say 55 minutes. This is exactly the kind of attraction you should be getting into, I guess, on a hot day. Although I will say, I don't imagine it's particularly enjoyable being out here in this space, which is half the queue. Maybe 2/5 of the queue is out here in this open space. Although the trees help a lot. The trees, more so than just regular coverings, like they do more to keep things cool than even an awning would, or a tent or something like that, umbrellas. They don't hardly do anything. They create temporary shade, but they don't cool the space. Trees and water cool a space in a way that you can't do with regular shade. So that helps, but I would not want to be out here in this right now either. But 55 is a fairly typical wait time for Tiana's, and I would definitely highly recommend trying to hit this attraction in the morning. How are you? On or before 9 or 9:30, right? Somewhere in that space. Try to get there before then, especially on in summer months, because you're still going to get plenty cool, because it's still hot as heck at that time. There again, somebody just said the same thing that I was thinking. It doesn't seem that crowded. I've noticed that Walt Disney World guests are a little bit more attuned to queue signs, park signs. I feel like they're a little bit more ready for that kind of thing. I want to stop. I've never been in here before. I want to take a quick stop. I'm sure this is like ours a little bit. Oh man, it's nice in here. Nice and cool. Yeah, this is a lot like our Lewis's Critter Club. Wonderful. The Bayou Community Band are not playing at the moment. We'll go backstage. This is where they sell the hot sauce. Yeah, it's nice in here. I kind of like this. It's kind of a combination of Ray's Berets and Lewis's Critter Club. They have just the one shop. Well, enough of that depressing talk of the rivers of America. Let's get back to work and take a look at a little bit more of Frontierland. They've got some Halloween decorations up here. Looks great. More like fall decorations, but It's all good. It looks really nice. Looking good down here as well. Look at this. It's pretty well open, you guys. I feel like, although this part of Frontierland has never been particularly crowded, it's a very wide open space. They really built this for a lot of people, so it looks less busy than it is. If we were at Disneyland right now, you wouldn't be able to walk through here, with this many people in a half as much space. You'd be hitting shoulders all over the place. That's one of the adjustments that I'm constantly having to make because it feels so big. This park is so big, but it's actually not as big as Disneyland in terms of just, entertainment per square foot, not even close. I think Disneyland has more than the entire resort. Disneyland alone, I think, has more attractions than all 4 parks put together, I think. I say that based solely on something I saw on Twitter. I don't know for sure. I just saw that on Twitter. Something like 51 attractions, or I don't know. But definitely there's less to do here at Magic Kingdom. There's a lot of space and a lot of, which I think is great. I think it's better for the guest. It's a better experience in some respects because it gives you time. It gives you, you can be patient with the transitions, let's say, from, Frontierland into Adventureland, right? So it helps in that sense. There's no jarring juxtapositions of theming. I don't mind it. Which naturally will bring us to Adventureland, and it looks like the walls are still up outside what is going to be the Beak and Barrel. They were supposed to begin taking reservations for the Beak and Barrel, but there was an issue, shocker, with with the reservation system, so no reservations could be made. I think they're starting up again this Wednesday as I record this, which by the time you see this, it will have already happened. But that's where Beak and Barrel will be at. I was hoping that maybe they would take the walls down at least and we could see a little bit what they're doing, but no such luck. I'm looking forward to trying that out, even though it's not really the kind of experience that I get into. I had never go to Oogie Boogie, Oga's. I don't know why I said Oogie Boogie. I never go to Oga's, and I don't do a lot of sit down anything when I come to the park. Of course, right next to the Beak and Barrel would be Pirates of the Caribbean, which that's going to be the exit. Well, I'm not sure if I don't know how much they're going to share. But look at that, a 35-minute queue for Pirates. That's kind of shocking given what we've seen elsewhere on the park. This attraction, every time I'm here, it looks like a walk-on. But 35 minutes, I have no idea, once more, if this is a 35-minute queue or not. I would have to get in and find out. But the fact that it's out here outside the threshold and coming out here into wild space tells me that they were not ready for this. This was unexpected. And it's unexpected to me, too, because we've seen a bunch of queues that look nothing like this for attractions that should have a queue. So that's kind of, that's kind of shocking. So Jungle Cruise should be bonkers right now, right? Given that. And here also is something that we haven't seen all day. Traffic. This is closer to what I was talking about, like when we were over there on Frontierland. This path is a little more narrow, so it pinches the traffic together a little bit. But that's something more like what you would see when you're walking through Adventureland. As for Jungle Cruise, it looks closed. Is it closed? I can't go down here. Yep. Confirmed. Jungle Cruise is currently not operating due to the weather. Are they expecting a storm? It does look stormy out. I was noticing that earlier. It's gotten more humid as we've been walking around. I feel more humid, which tells me that rain is about to drop. And it looks they've closed Aladdin too. This could be the end of our show. That is a good sign that they're expecting a storm, and anything outdoors is going to close. So we don't really have any more science to do, nothing more to cover. Looks like we can't go in the treehouse either. Hi guys. Yeah, we can't go in the treehouse either. But I'm still going to try and enjoy this a little bit because their treehouse, the Adventureland, or the Swiss Family Treehouse, not the Adventureland Treehouse, is magnificent here. This is just beautiful. I wish we had more space like this. And their buckets work. I want to be on that bridge right there. I'll also note that there are a lot of people going, almost everybody's going in that direction, in the leaving direction, not the coming in direction. Taking this opportunity to stop at the Sunshine Tree Terrace for a orange cream float. Which is just absolutely outstanding. Look at that. Is that not majestic right here in front of the Swiss Family Treehouse? Come on. I don't want to... It's fighting. I'm going to knock this thing over. I'm trying to do this one hand. Oh, that was skill. Wow. Perfect. At this time of day right now, it's 3:38. 1,000 degrees out, humid, it's about to rain. And I'm having an orange whip float in front of the Swiss Family Treehouse. I am at Disney World. While I'm sitting here, they just opened up the Swiss Family Treehouse, and I saw, I can't see it now, but through the trees there, they were testing the Aladdin flying carpet ride. So it looks like things are back up. Maybe they have opened up Jungle Cruise as well. That's why Pirates is jammed up. Pirates got jammed up because they closed a bunch of attractions nearby. So because they... You hear that? That sounded suspiciously like thunder. They closed a bunch of attractions, so everybody just filtered over to Pirates of the Caribbean. So if we go back, we'll see Jungle Cruise. Are they going to open Jungle Cruise? Then that means that the Pirates line should come down a little bit, right? Assuming that thunder that we just heard, maybe, I'm not sure, is real or not. I don't know. And before I can finish my float, they have closed it again. I just heard a really big thunder. And I guess maybe it was moving around us and now it's coming back over us again. But that was a pretty good sized thunder strike I just heard. No lightning yet, although I think I may have seen lightning, but it's too bright to know for sure. And the rain is beginning to fall. Good timing, I guess, as we wind the show down. But we'll take a nice, slow, oh boy, it's just suddenly it's coming down even harder now. People are not prepared. They did not have their umbrellas ready like I did. Man, it happens fast here in Florida. Wow. We'll take a nice stroll down Main Street and wind up this show. Everything just stops. The Magic Kingdom. It almost makes me want to turn around at the, oh my God, the wind's coming with it too. It makes me want to turn around at Town Square and start filming like a rainy day acoustic or something. This is incredible. Man, I gotta angle this thing. The wind's coming over my right shoulder. Wow! Whew. Turn off the microphone. You can hear it a little better now. Well, the rain anyway. Maybe not me. Thunder. Wow. This is kind of becoming my favorite thing about coming to Florida. It's just these sudden downpours in the middle of a hot day. I really enjoy these. And look what it does to Main Street. Oh, did you guys see that? That was lightning. Oh! Wow! That was right here, you guys. I saw it and then I heard it. It is close. I probably should not be on Main Street at this point, although I think I'm okay, right? There's lots of places for it to strike around me. I don't know science that well in that regard. But that was, I saw it and then I heard it. We're gonna have to wind this thing up. thank you for joining me on our first ever State of Magic Kingdom report. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys did too. These shows will, you know, I'll try to do one of these, you know, whenever I get to the park. But, oh, I just saw another light. There it is. Yikes! I want to do this again. Maybe we can do them at other parks. I hadn't planned on doing anything around Rest Resort this week, but we'll see. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Be safe out there, especially in this rainy weather. Be kind to one another. Fresh baked.